Today we're going to be talking about the thing that almost destroyed my channel. And coincidentally, that thing is chess. And you might be asking yourself, how in the world is chess responsible for destroying a chess channel? Well, today we're going to be talking about addiction in the form of chess. But before we get into that, let's go back a couple years in time. It's March 20th, 2021, and March 20th is my birthday. And coincidentally, that is when I finished watching The Queen's Gambit. And I absolutely loved this show. So like any human being, what did I do? Well, I picked up my phone, I went to chess.com, I made an account, I played a game, and I won. I won my first game. And then I got to 800 ELO and I thought to myself, this is easy. And I remember looking on Reddit and people were so proud about getting to 1,000. I'm just like, no way. I just gained hundreds of ELO for my first game. I bet I could play my second game and get to 1,000 ELO. No, I went down to 300 in the next day. And when I said I went down to 300 in the next day, that's because I played about 50 games. Now you might be thinking that 50 games isn't that much. I was probably playing blitz or bullet. No, I was playing rapid. I think on my first day of playing, I was so hooked that I maybe played for about 12 hours. It wasn't good. It was very bad. And after that first day is when the problem started, because the problem is that I realized that I love chess so much. And I never would have guessed it. I grew up playing games like MMORPGs, like RuneScape and World of Warcraft. Chess is nothing like RuneScape and World of Warcraft. And when I did play chess, I played with my mom, who also didn't know how to play chess, and she never taught me how to play chess. And my openings as a kid when I played with my mom was A4, and then she would usually take the center because that's the extent of her chess knowledge. And then I would play rook a3, and then I would be aiming to get my rooks in the center of the board. Needless to say, I did not learn how to play chess as a kid. I basically just kept losing over and over to my mom, who also didn't know how to play chess, nor did she teach me anything. And now we fast forward back again to 2021. And you might be wondering, did I play chess for 12 hours on my first day only? Nope. Not even close. On an average day, like a below average day, I think I was playing for like 8 hours a day. Was I winning? Not really. Was I having fun? Yeah, a lot of fun. But I could not stop. I just could not stop myself. And this didn't stop, by the way. Like, I did not stop playing chess for 8 hours a day. Like, I would go out of my way to play games of chess because I developed an addiction and a love for it and a passion for it extremely quickly. I'll never forget the day where I was like, I got to 800. And I think it took me like maybe over 6 months to get there. And I didn't study at all, by the way. And I will never forget the moment where I was just like, I just got out of the bathroom. I was just like, playing a game of chess in the bathroom, by the way. I just got out of the bathroom. I had this aha moment, and I said to myself, I want to find a way where I can play chess for the rest of my life, but I want to try to make a career out of it. And back then, I didn't know how it would be possible, but I knew one thing. I would not stop playing chess no matter what. But no story would be a good story without a plot twist. Because about a few months into my chess playing phenomenon career, I quit. I disappeared like the Avatar. I quit for about a few months. And then I was back to it. And I was on it for like a month. And then I quit for a few months. And I played again for a month. And when I was playing a lot. And then I quit again. And I came back for a few months. And this cycle continued for about a year and a half. And at that point, the year and a half point, I had about 3,600 rapid games. That's a lot. That's like, I probably would say over 1,000 hours played. I was no-lifing chess when I was playing, and when I was quitting, I was really quitting, but I was big time no-lifing. And I think when I got to 3,600 games, I was like 12 or 1,300. I was not studying like at all. I was maybe doing some puzzles, and that was about it. Now here's the thing. After that year and a half period, the problem really began, because not only did I never quit chess again, but I started playing blitz. And if you play blitz, you understand how mind-numbing it is, how tilting it is, and how much of a problem it becomes. And it becomes a big problem really, really, really quickly. And not only did I start playing blitz, but I started playing bullets. And that's where the problems really, really began, because oh my God, I have never felt worse about myself as a person than after like a couple hours of blitz and bullet. But the thing is, I never played for a couple hours. I played for minimum 6 every day, every day. And I also started to find a way to play more. And the way to play more chess is to sleep less. Yeah, so I was cutting my sleep because I was playing chess. And it got to the point where I didn't have a choice. Now you might be wondering what I possibly mean by I did not have a choice, because you always have a choice of just putting that phone down or turning off the computer and walking away. But when you're bargaining and you're down 100 elo on a good day, you better get that elo up, because then you gotta, live with the fact that you have to wake up the next day and you're down 100 elo. No one wants to be down 100 elo the next day. You want to be minimally baseline. You want to be exactly where you started or a little higher, because then that will get you to your next session on a good feeling. So yeah, and how many games do you have to lose to get down 100 elo? Well, think about it. It's a good amount of games, because you're probably winning some games too, right? Well, here's the thing. I have a really bad tilting problem. And here's the other thing, is that when I first go into my sessions, even till this day, the first couple games are just real good. And I might win like 50 elo. And do you know what it takes to be down 100 elo when you gain 50 from your original base point? It takes a lot of games. And that's a lot of tilt. And thus began the great tilt, the beginning of the chokehold that chess had on my life. But at the time, I wasn't thinking about it, and it wasn't a problem, because I was having fun. At least I told myself that. But mentally, I wasn't having fun. I was having fun when I was winning, and don't get me wrong, I would win. And that was also a problem. And you might be like, how is winning a problem? Let me tell you how it's a problem. It's a problem when your blitz elo goes from 1,000 to 1,400. How is that a problem? Because it goes back down to 900 in a week. I'm not joking. And then it goes up to 1,300, and then it goes down to 800. This is not an exaggeration. And it goes like this. And that really affected me, because I have this deep love for chess, but at the same time, it just made me think to myself, am I an absolute dumbass? Like, how is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? And why am I putting myself through this? It's because we do anything for love. And ladies and gentlemen, don't worry, because it actually gets a lot worse. Because I had started working in restaurants, and when you're working in restaurants, you're working pretty late hours and kind of abnormal hours. And I would work the 3:30 shift, and I would usually get home at like midnight. What do you do at midnight? Well, you play chess. You eat and then you play chess, but you play a lot of chess. And if you're me, you play a ton of chess, and then you play it till like 3 a.m. and you're only down like 20 elo, and you're like, we could get back up just after a couple games. Then it's 4 o'clock in the morning, and you're like, I'm only down 10 elo, and then it's 4:30, and you hit a winning streak, and then you hit a losing streak, and it's 7 o'clock in the morning, and you're down 75 elo now, and you're not done playing. It's not great. And the whole time, it's really, really bad, because you've also developed a severe caffeine addiction from working in restaurants. And what does a caffeine addiction even have to do with chess? Well, I play my best chess when I'm awake. I bet you do too. And coffee, that helps you focus. So The more awake you are, the more alert, the more focused you are, the better chess you're gonna play. So when I got home at like midnight, I'm hyped because I'm awake and I'm ready to play chess. I'm ready to do battle, mental battle, but I'm ready to lose elo. And when I say mental battle, by the way, the brain fog I would experience, I mean, I still get this, but like I'm better at getting myself out of this. The fucking brain fog that you get when you're down and you're losing and oh my God, like the self-hate you get when you're just like not seeing everything. Every game you're blundering a queen, a rook, a piece, and you're just so dejected, but you cannot put it down. And it is exacerbated, whatever, by the caffeine that's like also affecting your brain and like the lack of sleep. And keep in mind, a lot of this lack of sleep is because I'm playing chess so much. I'm not saying it's the chess problem, it's the me problem that I can't put it down, right? And it becomes this massive issue. And it was this massive issue. And it kind of still is. But how in the world did playing chess almost destroy my channel? Well, it's actually pretty simple when you break it down. So I had worked in these restaurants, but I just hated it. I absolutely hated it. And I wanted to build something of my own, right? And when do you possibly have time to record when you're working all these hours? Well, the time is after work, which isn't a problem because you're not really sleeping, right? So get home, midnight, eat dinner, start recording shorts. And that's easy because it's like a minute of recording shorts, but it's not easy when you're really bad at chess and don't understand what you have to record. I didn't understand anything. Every move was like, why are they playing this move? Like, I couldn't get it. Like I was just like, it wasn't processing for me. So the whole process of understanding and then kind of just like accidentally studying by understanding endgames took me like 4 or 5 hours. And most of the time I was done recording shorts and editing and this and that and uploading by like 4 or 5 a.m. And you got to keep in mind, I hadn't played my daily chess. And it sucks because you got to kind of cut your daily chess when you're recording. So what do? You kind of make up for it by sleeping less. And then you're falling asleep at like 9, 10 a.m. And then you're waking up and then you're going to work and you're having like maximum like 10 shots of espresso. And you're also going to the gym. And when I was going to the gym, and I still do this, I take a ton of rest time because I train to failure, meaning that I rest like 5 minutes between sets. And what takes 5 to 6 minutes? A blitz game. That's what I do between sets. So over time, you might be thinking that it gets better, but it just keeps getting worse because I'm doing 3 things, right? Like I'm working full time. I'm doing like part-time, doing like recordings and shorts. And then I'm like fitting in playing chess semi full time. And the mental strain that takes on your brain is like miserable because of the fact that it's like psychological warfare, winning, losing, this and that, and like all over the place. And it really, really messes you up. And it's supposed to feel like a good, rewarding feeling when you're done with the short and you're done with the video and you put it out and you're really happy with it. But how could you be happy with it when you just lost 100 elo and like you just absolutely hate yourself? And then you have to do it again the next day and the next day. And you would think that it would make you hate chess. Not me. For some reason, it just made me want to play more because of this just like invisible elo number that I need to hit for no fucking reason. Like I have to get to this amount of blitz elo or nothing. Nothing. Or literally nothing. And that would like get me out of like the brain fog. Is be like, why am I even going for this elo? Do I really need to get to it? No. And it's important to note that I started my channel in April 2023. And this cycle just continued and continued and continued. And my mental state just literally progressively just got terrible to the point where it's just like, I'm just not even recording on days where I need to record. Like I don't have time not to record. Like I would have days off And I would get home and it would be 8 p.m., right? It would be 8 p.m. and I would not stop playing chess until 10 is what I would tell myself I would do, because then I would record for like 4 or 5 hours and that's my day off, so I can record even more. No, because I have to play chess because now I'm down elo, and then it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm still down elo, and I'm telling myself I'm gonna record, and then it's 5 o'clock in the morning, and I am in a pit of despair, and I can no longer record because I'm so fucked up from losing. It's like, I don't want to record. I'm like, I'm going to go to bed. I didn't go to bed. I would just watch YouTube for like 3 hours and then I would go to bed. And so anyways, this cycle continued till about 6 months ago until I started to put a stop to it. I was doing the woodpecker method. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of like spaced repetition. You do a set of puzzles. I think it's like 1,000 or 1,100 puzzles. You try to get those amount of puzzles done in X amount of time. But you basically do as many as you can do in about a month. And when you're doing like this amount of volume of puzzles, especially like hard puzzles, you actually just don't really have time to play blitz games. And so that kind of stopped the cycle. And it allowed me to do a little bit of reflecting, because I was like, oh my God, this is controlling my life and it's really bad. And then I started to realize I can kind of control this and I can kind of get it back in order, because it kind of made me think about a schedule. Because when you're doing this amount of puzzles, you have to set down time to do them. Like, they're hard, so they take time. So when are you possibly going to do these? Because you got to be on, you got to be like, you got to be really like ready to focus in this and that. So when I was doing my puzzles, I would set aside time where I was focused and I can do them. And then I could also just not play blitz games. And then I reflected a little bit further, because I had realized that there were now so many days where I was just not recording because I was playing chess 8 to 12 hours a day and getting nowhere. And it was kind of interesting because I used to give myself the logic that this is furthering my career. How in the actual fuck is playing blitz games nonstop for 8 to 12 hours a day furthering your career? I have no idea. That was just the logic that I told myself to do it, right? But once I did that woodpecker method, it kind of just got me out of that. Like, it allowed me to just take a step back and realized I had a serious issue. And like I said, it allowed me to come up with some sort of a schedule. And now I only play blitz games in the gym. Now, don't get me wrong, there are plenty of days where I play not in the gym. It's like a sleeping dragon, as addiction is. It's just always there, but you poke it enough, it's gonna wake up and it's gonna shoot you with fire, and then you're... Yeah, because I play on my phone when I play blitz. Like, almost never play blitz on the computer, and I should. But yeah, if you are experiencing similar problems, I know how difficult this might be. Like, even if one person could relate to this, that would be great. I don't know. I think what really, really helped me, and it's continually helped me, I've been so good, is just come up with a schedule to play your games, because I think we all know how addictive chess is, and I love playing chess, but like, the real thing that will probably help my career is learning and studying and doing puzzles will actually help my knowledge, help me present things, help me make videos, not mindlessly playing games. So I guess my advice to you, and I know it's so insane, is come up with a schedule to play chess. I'm not kidding. It helps so much. And thus, an anticlimactic end to the video, but it's not the end to the journey. You never know. In the next week, I could be playing 8 to 12 hours a day. Probably not. I think I've done enough reflecting to not do that. I mean, it's the dream, but it's a kind of a shallow dream, right? Better to study, better to learn things, better to progress your life. And hey, guess what? I even have more of a social life now, which is amazing, you know? Playing less chess gives you more time, and I'm even sleeping a little bit better now, and it's kind of nice. And Yeah, I don't know. I hope you guys like this kind of a video. I know I've never done something before. I would like to do more Toonish Yaps in the future. If you did like it or you can relate, leave a like and a comment, and I'll see you next time.